Leslie in Mobile, thanks. You're on the air.
Hi.
I'm so glad you guys are the hosts because you're my favorite host.
Oh, thanks so much.
And I'm sorry, I'm incredibly nervous because
But there's no reason to be nervous because you've already started off with flattery, and I'm not even my favorite host, so you're doing well.
No, I'm nervous because I'm teetering on the cusp of atheism and theism, and I'm scared and I'm sad, and I'm hoping you guys can talk me down because you're really rational people.
Okay. So, what are you scared of?
It's going to sound so absurd.
Can't be any more absurd than Corey. Corey set the bar really well for you.
See, that's why I like you guys. You're very rational. No, it sounds so silly to normal people, but I'm a cat lady, and
I got 4 cats.
Yeah, I got 3.
I knew Jim would have cats. She just has that cat lady quality.
Oh, thank you.
It's Jen, but
and I apologize, but I've lost a lot of cats this year. And one of the ways I used to neurotically comfort myself was saying that I would see them in heaven. But then I've been reading Christopher Hitchens and Dawkins and watching your show, and now I'm realizing I don't really believe that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what to do with the grief. And I don't know if I believe, and I'm kind of afraid not to. Like, I won't see them again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the only way to deal with grief is just to experience it. Don't try to put it off. I mean, everyone I've known that's ever tried to avoid feeling those feelings has suffered for it. They've had a lot of, if not a major depression period, but at least they have suffered longer and more dramatically than they needed to. So I would encourage you just to experience those feelings. Those are real. It happens. I mean, I lost a cat earlier this year, and it's not fun. And
go
ahead.
It's part of life.
It's hard to accept that you're not going to see them again.
Yeah. I know, but you know what? You know what helps, especially with animals, is that you know that as long as they were on this planet, you treated them as well as you possibly could, and you gave them the best life you could.
Well, yeah, they're a bit spoiled.
Well, then there you go.
I'm gonna actually rant for a minute, and this is no way directed at you. This is me taking pot shots at religion.
I'm all for that. I've always been anti-religion. I just
my
always
wife
comforted myself with Sky Daddy.
Yeah, my wife wants us to point out, and rightfully so, that you should hit up Google for grief beyond belief, and it's a new initiative. There's lots of great things that are happening in the atheist community. We're branching out as we grow beyond simply, hey, let's go down and have a drink and rag on religion for the night. We have the Recovering from Religion group, which deals with people who are suffering from like PTSD type effects from leaving religion and losing their support networks. Nate Phelps gave a great talk at ApostaCon on this. He's Fred Phelps' son. Talked about his indoctrination and abuse and his escape at the age of 18 and how long it took him to put his life back together. There's also the Clergy Project geared at ministers who are non-believing and stuff.
Yeah, I've watched that. I actually was not raised with any religion, but my family was raised with there's a God.
Yeah.
No religion, and I hate all religions.
So, see, one of the things is, though, were you raised with this idea that there's a heaven?
Yeah, I'm OCD, and you always ask the question, what can religion provide that secular means cannot? And I can tell you, OCD management is one of them.
Well, see, now, I'm going to have to still disagree. I think that you can do OCD management without appealing to religion. One of the things and the reason I wanted to rant about this is, what religions do, both structured and unstructured, these false ideas about gods and heavens and hells and things, is they set up false expectations. And so while people say, oh, religion is a great tool for helping people manage their grief, I completely disagree. what I think religions tend to do is give people false expectations about life and never teach them, give them the tools that they need to deal with the loss of life and how to grieve appropriately. It's natural for you to be upset. Yeah. Well, the idea that I'm not going to go on to live in any kind of afterlife encourages me to do a better job of treating people right the first time, of making sure that I don't wait till the last minute to tie up loose ends or make apologies, or and also when someone dies, rather than fancifully thinking, oh, I'm going to see them again in the happy place, and ignoring my real feelings, I'm now allowed to grieve and cry and look back on the life that we shared together. And as Jen pointed out, think about the positive aspects of these cats. And grief is real. It doesn't matter whether you've got a pet roach or you're talking about your parent or your child. If you've become emotionally attached, I mean, I imagine you could even suffer grief over inanimate objects, your car or whatever.
Sure.
These are real things, and we diminish them we diminish people's grief by pretending and giving them fantasyland solutions, which also, by the way, encourages people not to take the steps to treat people right the first time and deal with people in the one and only life we know. If there is an afterlife, treat it like a bonus. And while your call doesn't actually address this, one of the things I get from people who are falling away from religion is a constant fear of, I don't believe this anymore, but I'm constantly terrified by what if I'm wrong? What happens if I die?
The Pascal's wager, I know.
If I end up in hell.
That makes perfect sense.
And
it's very frightening. I don't believe in hell. I never have, but I've always been very afraid of just being ignored or being wrong or being denied something. I don't know. It sounds absurd, I know, and I apologize.
No. It's absolutely fine. And the people that I'm talking to are the people that do have these concerns that you don't necessarily have. And I always ask them, how much time have you spent worrying about other religions' heavens and hells? Because inevitably they're only worried about one religion, the one that they left or the one that is the majority one in their area. And they haven't spent a minute thinking about what they think about
Hindus or Buddhists,
whose hell are you going to avoid and whose heaven are you going to seek and what's the justification for it. And if it turns out that I'm wrong and I end up standing before some God someday, I have the comfort of, number one, I have the comfort of having been intellectually honest, both in my thoughts about the subject and in the pursuit of it. And if it turns out that somebody like the character of God in the Bible is the actual God, I'll have the comfort of knowing that, yeah, sure, he could send me to hell and squash me like a bug, but I'm morally superior to that thug.
Yeah, no, the God of the Bible is an ass. Yeah. I'm with you there. I just, I have a really hard time of letting go of the things I love.
That happens to a lot of people.
Parrot and fuzzies and.
I encourage you to get another cat and love it just as much.
Yes.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I just, it's hard to let go of things, and I'm OCD, and I'm scared of everything, and it really has helped me a lot to talk to you guys, because I really do think I'm an atheist. It's just hard to accept when you're crazy as a bug.
So you don't believe in a God?
I really don't. Then
you're an atheist.
You're an atheist.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, they're all clapping. We'll get you a membership card and the obligatory baby that you have to eat later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to let go of the Rainbow Bridge and cat heaven and just accept that I'm an atheist?
Yep. Love the cats that are still here. Yep. Let the other ones rest. Thanks.
That's fantastic advice. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Leslie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, yay. All right, so cat lovers unite.
That Rainbow Bridge thing, I never got any comfort from that. And after my Persian cat died a few years ago, I sent a little note over to the vet's office saying never ever put that crap in with the ashes and everything when they come back. Not helpful. So yeah.